What's up, boss? You believe that? Hold on. Do you believe that?
Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. As always, we got some greater college football news to talk about today. Man, I'm feeling wonderful. I got my second cup of coffee going. Nuggets winning a big one against the Heat last night. I'm in a good mood.
You think I'm gonna let them talk about y'all?
We'll dive into this here in just a minute. Just want to make sure that I got everything ready to go for y'all. Hopefully no issues. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter stream. I don't want to keep y'all too late or too long before the DNVR show goes on. But hey, we're on that way to 7,000 subscribers. If you like what I'm doing here, feel free to hit that subscribe button. We're almost there. But lots of great news today. This is a wonderful day. Wonderful way to start my weekend. Ryan got it. We're finally getting some common sense rules with the NCAA. Love it. So let me go ahead and cut the music. Let's see if this fade works. Come on now. I don't think it works on my end. So I'm just going to cut it. But hey, here's the deal, guys. We're getting helmet communications in college football. Thank God. Thank the football gods. This is finally happening. It only took 30 years past when the NFL implemented it. It only took 30 more years. We're also getting tablets. Another thing that's going to help the product on the field just look so much better. Thank God we're allowing these guys to use tablets. They don't have to break open the printed papers. We can save some trees, right? And one other thing that I am actually very excited about, which initially I was pissed off about, is the 2-minute warning. We're getting that. And that's going to be great. But man, let's go ahead and get into some of the specific details of this. I'll take some of your questions and comments afterwards, as always. But man, yeah, it feels great. The NIL players are getting paid. We're now starting to treat this thing with some common sense, some real technology, all that. And guys, Colorado's going to benefit so much better from this, so much more than other college programs, in my opinion, because we got 2 NFL coaches coming in here. They don't need to change their whole playbook into baseball signs and SpongeBob SquarePants cartoon pictures, anything like that. So that's going to benefit Robert Livingston and Pat Shurmur tremendously before they even have to implement their playbook. But hey, this article is linked in the description of my video. Thanks to David Cobb for putting this out. 2-minute read. I'm not going to read the whole thing, though, but it says helmet communications and 2-minute timeout among college football changes proposed by the NCAA Rules Committee. College football rules are on track to be modernized in time for the 2024 season after Friday's vote, which is great. So the Rules Committee recommended tweaks today. They voted for this to have rules more aligned with the NFL, the approval of helmet communications, in-game use of tablet technology, and a 2-minute timeout headlined by recommended measures, which must be approved by the NCAA Playing Rules Oversight Panel. The group will meet to finalize the process on April 18th. So this is it is official, but it's not like official because David goes on to say later in the article that they're not foreseeing any issues of why this wouldn't be approved on April 15th. So the fact that this was already passed, this rules committee, they shouldn't see any pushback to that in April. Now, I also want to point out, what the hell is up with this advertisement I'm getting right here? Flyover country? Yeah, whatevs. Nebraska. No, nobody wants to visit Nebraska. And yes, it is the definition of flyover country. Look, you're putting geese on the background of this display ad. There's nothing there to look at except for you to just look up. Yes, it is flyover country, and they don't even dispute it. They just say, yeah, whatever. Come visit Nebraska. It's flyover country, man. Come on, man. pissed off about this ad. Stop sending me ads, Nebraska. I'm never going. All right. Sorry, I got distracted there. I just needed to get that off my chest, okay? So, as you guys know, a lot of these rules were experimented with in the bowl season this past year, where both quarterbacks as well as defensive players had that green dot. They had the helmet communications, and it seemed to go really well. The football teams and coaching staffs really liked it, and it will be very similar to the NFL. Pretty much the exact same thing. A single player on the field from each team would have a green dot on their helmet. The communications would be turned off at the snap or with 15 seconds left on the play clock, depending on which occurs first. If I remember correctly, this is the exact same timing as what's in the NFL, okay? So, want to give a quick shout out to the Michigan Wolverines, Jim Harbaugh, Connor Stallions, one of the greats, one of the greatest ever, okay? We would not probably have this without you guys getting caught cheating with all the sign stealing allegations and everything like that. So I want to give a quick shout out to Michigan national champions. I don't care if they stole signs or whatever. This happens in every sport, but thank God they got caught, because now we finally got helmet comms in college football. So thank you guys. I love this. Now, 2-minute warning. We've had this as part of the NFL since I can remember, or at least since I've been alive. And I was initially pissed off about this because I was like, no, not more timeouts, not more commercial breaks for college football. But it sounds like they're not going to increase the amount of commercial breaks, which is already an obscene amount, but this is just going to help them plan out so that they can avoid back-to-back media timeouts. So hopefully things will feel a little bit more fluid throughout that. And this is going to help with the new clock rules, where you have the running clock really until the last 2 minutes of every half, which sucks. I mean, those quarters can fly by, and it really makes, games that could be in reach with a 2-minute warning. Yeah, it takes away the opportunity for the other team to come back. And so I think you'll see it help the competitiveness in college football. Teams get essentially an extra timeout. And so it's going to help games continue to stay close down to the wire, going to help viewership, all of that. I think the 2-minute warning, the fact that they're not increasing more commercial breaks, big win for college football. Now, if we could just go back to the old clock rule. But this is fine. We have some other rule changes as well. Warnings for uniform violations followed by a timeout being charged upon subsequent offenses from any member of the team violating teams that are out of timeouts will be assessed a 5-yard penalty. I can't think of the last time I've seen a uniform violation. Teams can use 18 tablets between the coaching booth, sideline, and locker room for the purposes of viewing in-game video only. Implementation of a 15 horse collar tackle penalty within the tackle box. That is great. So it's within the tackle box. So it's not anywhere on the field like it is with the NFL, but at least within the tackle box, you're going to start to see horse collar penalties enforced. So that's nice. That will also help the quarterback stay upright a little bit more, right? So again, while these measures still need final approval here in April, it's widely expected that the measures will go unopposed. In fact, the ACC already approved helmet communications and tablet usage last month. That's great to know, allowing programs the chance to begin to use the new tools during spring practice. So I think, again, when you're looking at our staff right now, we have Pat Shermer and Robert Livingston, guys who have spent the overwhelming majority of their career in the NFL, their playbooks, they're coming from the NFL in a sense. So implementing these, you won't have to change them into, all these weird signs, right? on the sidelines that we've seen, or putting different pictures on posters, none of that. We're going to be able to have our coordinators directly relay in the call to a defensive player, to Shador at quarterback. And so that's one less thing that our coaches that are Pat Shurmur's been here a little bit longer, but Robert Livingston making that transition from the NFL, this is one less thing he has to worry about, one less thing he has to spend time on, and it's going to make that transition for him a little bit more seamless. So big win for college football overall. It's about time they started treating this thing like the pros a little bit more, and I still think it keeps some of the things in college football intact that make college football great, of course, with like the hash marks, the wide spacing, all of that. But some things are incorporated now into the game that I think are going to improve the product. You're going to see, you're going to see offenses and defenses, I feel like, communicate better, be on the same page better, all that. So y'all let me know your thoughts. But yeah, big shout out to Connor Stallions, man. We wouldn't have this without you, man. So hope your career in the FBI or the CIA is going well, my friend. Sir Ken, thank you for the love. Hope you're having a great Friday. Yeah, the NCAA, y'all should be ashamed, but we're finally making progress, okay? I'm a big fan of this. Today's a great day. Bodie, thank you for the support as well. Hey, we're 12-0. We're 12-0 till we ain't, right? Yeah, but what was up with that Nebraska ad? And speak of the devil, Mike, our Nebraska fan, is here. He said maybe because Matt Rule is the one talking to other coaches for years, especially coming back from the pros, trying to get earphones passed. Nebraska will always be a leader. Oh, I love that take, Mike. But I will give Matt Rule some credit, man. I'm sure that he is, raised hell about some of this, because this whole process was so much easier for him in Carolina over the last handful of years. This is something that needs to be addressed. By the way, my friend who's a beat writer for Ohio State, his sneaky college football playoff team he has this year, Nebraska. Just going to say it. Kind of crazy. So we got our hands full come week 2 against Nebraska. What's up, Coach Kev? What do you guys think about these rule implementations? Are you guys as pumped as me, or am I right in thinking that this is going to give Colorado a little bit more of an advantage than it would other schools right now that haven't hired NFL coordinators right now? I would imagine that this would benefit somebody like Eric Bieniemy going to UCLA to be their offensive coordinator. I mean, he's been in the NFL for the last 13, 14 years or so. So, again, this is just one less thing that guys making this transition to college football they have to worry about. This is going to be great. It's going to be great having Pat Shurmur say, hey, remember, you're seeing this type of look. Travis is going to be open here. Hey, remember, you got your check down here. Hey, make sure to switch or shift the protection, all that. This, I mean, I love this. We're going to get so much better quarterback play in all of college football. And I think that this is definitely going to continue to improve what we're having being built here at Colorado. But to Mike's point, well, it's not really to Mike's point, but it's bringing this up. You might see quicker success with younger quarterbacks in college football, because now you have the coach right in their ear, helping them with their reads, reminding them of what they're seeing. Like, hey, you're seeing a cover 1 look right now. You're seeing a cover 2 look right now, which means you're going to be reading this. Okay. Hey, you got 7 in the box right now. Let's be sure to go this direction, whatever. So I brought this up on Tuesday when I was talking about this, when Kevin O'Connell was getting Josh Dobbs up to speed, because he had barely any time to prepare before he was on the field for the Minnesota Vikings. He would be able to give him, his first or second read, or give him tips on how to run the play after he gave him the call. Up until that 15-second mark on the play clock hit, And that's why you kind of saw him get off to a hot start. So all that to say, you might see, uh, some benefit with young quarterbacks being thrust in there a little bit earlier on in their careers and having a little bit more success because they're not having to interpret everything out on the field um, by themselves. You still have a coach talking to you, which is all pretty interesting. So, yeah, I absolutely love this. This is great news. I was concerned that for some reason the NCAA would shoot it down. They'd find some dumb reason to, but I think that they were saying what, $50,000 to implement this per program. That's chump change in Division One college football. And if you can't afford it, then you're doing something wrong because you're paying many players more than that. And if you need a loan, these are some of the most powerful institutions in each state. You can get a loan for $50,000 for no problem. I'm sure of it. Heck, they'll even allow you to go into $180 million of debt, depending on which state you're in, right, Arizona? So, yeah, this is wonderful. Oh, and I did want to bring this up, guys, with my Morgan Pearson video. I forgot to lead with this. It's so funny. I want to give a shout out to Morgan Pearson's mother. She commented on my video yesterday. And hey, I don't know what's going on. Mama knows best. Mom knows best. She was saying, my son is not 6'1". He's 6'3". They measured him wrong. CU, what's going on? We got to see how you're measuring these guys. Mom says he's 6'3". University says he's 6'1". What's going on with that? Now, if Morgan Pearson is 6'3", that's great. Then he's not an undersized tight end, okay? 6'3". I think Shimon Mateer is what, 6'3", right? Let me look this up right now. And maybe he just had a growth spurt since they last measured him, okay? Oh, Shimon Mateer is 6'5". So, hey, still a little bit shorter than Shimon Mateer. Let's see what Louis Passarello is. Pulling this up right now. Was Passarello 6'5"? Let's see what Savell Smalls is. Savell Smalls 6'3". So, right there. You got it right there. Savell Smalls 6'3". Is Morgan Pearson that size? Y'all compare those two on the Reach the People, the Well Off. I'm going to have to look into this as well to see, are those guys the same height? But Miss Pearson, she was saying, hey, my son is 6'3". Make of that what you want. Tony Benson wondering, Tony Based wondering, did Benson get hurt in practice? Did he? I don't know, guys. I didn't watch the practice film, but this is why we still need another tackle, man. We need another tackle. Right now, we got Jordan Seaton on the left side. We got Benson, Savion Washington battling for that right side. Who knows? Maybe David Connor can surprise people as well. We also brought in, who's the guy from FIU? Come on now. I'm pulling this up. We have so many transfers. I need to remember all their names. We do have Philip Houston. And so maybe he's a guy that does surprise. I think Kareem Harden, I think that he should probably stay inside, right? But again, this is one thing in which our offensive line, I'm still feeling a lot better about where we're at on the interior than we are at the tackle position. Still feeling like we're a little thin there with just not as much proven talent really at all. I think we're all expecting Jordan Seaton to be very good, but he could have his bumps his true freshman year. That could happen, and that will be okay. But we don't have anybody coming in here that's like, just Mayers or man, why am I Tyler Johnson? Any of these guys that have proven it at the Power 4 level. Well, Tyler Johnson has, I guess. Mayer's coming up here from UTEP. So we'll just have to see what happens. But please, let's grab a few more defensive linemen. Let's grab another offensive tackle or two. And again, like if we have guys in the interior hurt, depending on who's starting, right? I mean, we got Tyler Brown that I think should be able to play multiple positions. We got Kareem Harden, who I feel like, I guess he has a little bit of versatility. You know, I would probably like him at guard better than tackle, but I think he showed that he can somewhat play tackle. Yeah, we need more bodies. Hank Zelinskis, I think he'll take another jump this year. I'm not expecting him to be a starter, but is he a guy that could eventually be a starter here? I think so. Offensive linemen just usually take a little while. Bodie, appreciate the $10 super chat. Hey, you're making my Friday. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And Dizza coming in here saying, Benson got poked in the eye. Y'all know that I've been bringing this up. We need more guys on the team that are going to be poking in the opponent's eyes. So whoever did that, you know, it was probably unintentional, but this is something that I want to see. I want to see, do we got that meanness to us? Do we got that aggression? Of course, we remember when Henry Blackburn took that cheap shot out on Travis Hunter, it was Shador that came in, had to stand up for him. Didn't Shador poke somebody's eyes in that game too? We need more guys on the team that are going to be throwing eye pokes, okay? So I'm just going to take this as a very positive sign that our team's getting a little bit more nasty, because we need less nice guys on the team. We need that nasty. We need dirty. We need bullies on the team. We need guys that are going to go in there and slap the other team around. Bam, bam, bam. Who's your daddy? Shador is an eye poker. Yes. We need more eye pokers, guys. People don't want to hear that. People might think that's dirty. That's trashy. Hey, I'm here to establish dominance, man. If I'm coaching this team, I'm here to establish dominance. You don't want to mess with us. Hey, I got a summer league jersey on, so I'm going to give you guys an analogy from the NBA. People used to mess with Jokic, man. People used to mess with Jokic until it was, who was it? Markieff Morris? Was it one of the Morris twins? When, you know, gave him that cheap shot, little elbow, pretend that pissed off Jokic to where, yes, he totally overreacted. But then he's like, you know what, man? I'm going to just shove you to the ground, gave him whiplash, and he never played another minute in the NBA the rest of the season, man. And nobody messes with Jokic like that anymore, man, because they know the man is badass, that he has the ability to beat the mess out of you, okay? We need some players like that on CU. We got bullied around too much, man. We got bullied around too much when push came to shove with it. We need some more mean guys. And, of course, you know, this is another tangent, but, you know, if we're all on steroids, then we'll have that steroid roid rage, which I think could definitely help in terms of the toughness of the team. But I don't want us to get caught or penalized for doing anything like that. So I'm not officially endorsing the use of performance-enhancing drugs or, you know, steroids, except for Mata. He's the only one that I'm just going to come out and say right now, bro, make sure you're hitting the PEDs because you got the accuracy down. We just need 10 more yards of distance, man. That's all we need. So y'all are with me on this Mata train right now. You know, I would have liked to bring in another kicker that could kick touchbacks, but if we're not going to bring in somebody, then we got to improve with the talent that we have right now on the roster. That's right. Be sure to be taking that creatine, that Redcon 1, everything like that, but definitely hit those, you know, hit those injection pins. Oh, man. Sorry, guys. I'm a little silly today here on a Friday, but that's just how I feel, man. And by the way, did y'all see that fight with the Kentucky players, with the Kentucky football players. Who was the football player that streamed that and then put it on social media? What a dumbass, right? What a total dumbass. Imagine if one of our CU players did that, man. What a dumbass. Mata made a 54-yard field goal at practice today. He posted it on Twitter. Good. And how did it look in terms of the hang time on it, or the air he got under it? How did that look? Dizza, you're gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me do it. You're gonna make me do it. I won't do it just because it's Friday. But I will say this. Jimmy Horn's an above average wide receiver. I'm just gonna say it. An above average wide receiver. That's how I'm feeling about this today. I know I had him in a different spot in the pyramid. That's all I'm saying. I'm feeling great about today's team. And it was so funny, guys. I was looking at the comments the other day. They said, maybe you guys, I need to check out Harry B's channel. It's been a little bit since I've checked out his channel, but someone, I forget who it was, they said, and I think I pinned it. They said, Dave, I'm starting to think you're a low-key hater of Coach Prime, just like the Harry B guy. I was like, what? I thought Harry B was like all in on this thing, man. But I was like, I can't be a hater of Coach Prime when I'm picking this team to win 9 games, man. I'm picking this team to win 9 games. It's a 5-game improvement. And I should probably do a video on this because it's been a while. I still want Coach Prime signed to a big-ass contract extension to make him the highest paid coach in Colorado, or in college football history, because he's the perfect coach here for Colorado. He's going to figure out all the stuff that he needs to improve on. I have no doubt about that. The man's a Hall of Famer. We're going to see improvement this year with everything. It just didn't look perfect right off the bat, and that's okay. Dude, Dex coming in here. I got Mata going, bro. Dude, I love that. But yeah, Mata's got to hit the steroids if he wants to be drafted, okay? Because you got to be the best of the best to be drafted as a kicker, right? Jimmy has above average talent and athleticism, but I'm not going to piss off Dizza. I'm not going to read that last part. But yeah, I agree, man. Let's see a jump from Jimmy this year. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, man. Harry B, man, what's going on? What's going on, Harry B? I'm going to have to tune into him. And yeah, I got to tune into Max's show too. Guys, when you make so much content, sometimes you don't always have the time to be watching others' content as much anymore. And it's been a while since I've been on Max's channel, so I'll have to check him out too. People conflate hating with being objective and honest. Yes. I think that's true. And somebody like Coach Prime, there's a lot of emotional attachment to somebody like him. And I get it, because he's a likable guy. He's an extremely likable guy. But he ain't perfect. And while he is the Jesus Christ of Colorado football because he has raised it from the dead, he is not actually Jesus Christ, like some people want to say. I want Coach Prime here forever, man. The vibes, they're still immaculate, as they would say on DNVR. Old school. Hey, old school. I reposted your Raw Tunes cartoon from Rawhide the other day. Absolutely loved it. How do you feel about being a part of a real cartoon? I love it. You're very special to all of us here in the Colorado community. What's going on, or what's good, Dave? Hit the like and subscribe button, everybody. I did. I love it. Hope you're having a great day. Old school. Appreciate you, man. Ball out. Hey, this is a great question. Who is your top 3 sleepers this season? Great question. I've probably talked about this a little bit, but I don't remember what I said. And so I'm going to give you a fresh new answer. So let me go ahead and pull up our scholarship chart. That'll probably be a good way for me to talk through this, okay? All righty. You guys can see this, right? Hey, by the way, I'm doing something really fun with Adam Munster Tiger at Dark Horse on Tuesday. I still think we got I still think that's on. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think we're doing like a live recording of a podcast there. So if you're in the Denver Boulder area, I think we're doing a meet and greet afterwards, like during the happy hour. So y'all pull up for that. It'd be cool to meet some of y'all. Okay. Gonna give y'all some of my sleepers here. First sleeper. A lot of fun edge talent, right? We're forgetting that Arden Walker is due for a nice little jump this year. Okay. He's really taken on the leadership role. Right now, I don't have him slated in as a starter. I think right now at our edges, I would go with BJ Green and Sam Okunloa, right? But Arden Walker, I think, is going to be a substantial player for us, whether he's in a starting or rotational role. And I would not be surprised if he kind of exceeds a lot of our expectations to really make an impact this year. Again, we saw with Jordan Dominic, again, I think he was a lot more talented than what he put on the stat sheet last year, just because the talent he was playing around obviously was not very good. I think both Arden Walker and if Jordan Dominic was able to stick around, he wasn't. I think you would have seen a nice jump from both of them this coming year, just because the rest of the line, the front seven talent is going to be looking better. So give me Arden Walker as one of my 3 sleepers. Let me see what we got here. Of course, on offense, guys, I don't really know if there's anybody here on offense that, I mean, we talk about a lot of these wide receivers, and man, it would be great if y'all could see what Luis Passarello can do. I'm not going to keep him as a sleeper right now, though, but I do think we'll see more from him. I guess we can stick on the offensive side or on the defensive side of the ball. At the linebacker position, this is going to be a deep sleeper here, but wouldn't it be fantastic if we saw Victory Johnson get some snaps this year? I mean, the guys, these off-ball linebackers, can take time to develop them. We lost a developmental guy in Morgan Pearson. He said, "Yeah, forget this, man. I'm going to tight end." So he said, "No." He said, "No shade to Coach Hart. No offense to Coach Hart." Something like that. I was like, "Oh man, it's not good." But Victory Johnson, he's a guy that I mean, this is a very deep sleeper. Okay, so I'll just preface it with that. But he has the raw athleticism, size, and talent to be a very good linebacker for us. It just takes a little while. It just takes that position a little while. Can he make this jump in his redshirt freshman year? We'll just have to see, but I really hope he's putting in the work, because I really do feel like there's a lot of opportunity. We got Jalen Wester. I've been harsh on Levante Bentley. I feel like I'm warming up a little bit to him based on kind of what you guys have pointed out, the improvement I think that he showed throughout the season. I don't really know what to make of Brandon Gant, Demoy Kennedy, those guys. Who knows what happens with Trevor Woods, where he's playing. But he's a guy that I feel like we should, keep our eyes on, because anybody could elevate themselves up to the top of that depth chart list. Hey, even Kofi Taylor Barracks. And then for my third, man. I mean, y'all have heard me talk about these two guys a lot already. Jade Milner-Jones, Carter Stoutmeyer. I'm part of the Carter Stoutmeyer crew, man. Y'all are going to get on board. It's just me and Rawhide right now. But I'll go with another really deep sleeper. How about that? Okay, guys? How about Quincy Wiggins? I've been critical or just skeptical of guys that have come out from other programs that haven't had big time playing time. again, some people are already putting Anquin Barnes in there as a starter. I'm just like, dude, the guy's played 8 snaps in his whole college football career. Don't hit me with that, man. Quincy Wiggins, I think he had about 50, 60 snaps this past year. But, man, we don't have a lot of guys with his, his type of build right now on the roster. And is a year younger than Anquin Barnes, has had a year less in college football, has had more snaps. And you're hoping that, hey, kind of like Arden Walker, this is the time where he makes that jump from being just a guy on the bench to a guy playing significant rotational minutes for us. I think if we can have one of these guys that has come in here not having played a lot in college before and now contributing, that's a big win for our defense because we need some of those guys. So I think we've spent a lot of time talking about guys like Chidozie or, BJ Green, obviously, Sam Okunloa. Keaton Wade's another guy I'll throw in there as like a fourth sleeper. Just that I feel like we could use him in a variety of ways. Do we want to put him at inside linebacker with some of these sets? It's going to be fun to see. But, yeah, overall, like that's kind of how I look at some other guys for you guys to have your eyes on. Maybe they will end up producing. Maybe they won't this year, and that's okay. I would still like to see some of our wide receivers, stay on the team that are young guys. Obviously, people are very excited, including myself, about Draylon Miller, Cam McKell, but Saad Wasim, man, this is a guy that I want to see out there. Big-time special teams guy, too. Like, I want to see him return kicks. Jordan Onavue, I would like to see if he's able to make a jump this year. Again, not every great wide receiver was a 4 or 5 star blue chip coming out. Some guys take a little while to develop. And hey, if Antonio Brown can develop into a Hall of Fame player playing at a school like Central Michigan, if I remember correct, surely Jordan Onavue, here, a 3-star guy coming to CU, can develop into a good wide receiver as well. But I understand that those odds are a lot less. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Scroll up. Oh, this is a great question. Oh, first, I'll get to Mike. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Hope the corn's looking good over there in Nebraska. Mighty tasty. All of that. Appreciate your support. You've been with us for a long time, and y'all need some funny Nebraska content creators. That's what you guys are missing, is funny people. DMVU. Love this. So Maryland actually used the helmet comms for their bowl game against Auburn. It seems super efficient. Excited to see these technologies finally integrated into college football. I know, man. I need a little bit of like a little bottle of champagne to get this thing going. Finally, we're out of the dark ages. Finally, I mean, I'm gonna miss backup quarterbacks on the sideline looking like that, right? I'm gonna miss that. These are things in college football that are now going to be in the past. Those memes, they're in the past. We will recognize them at some point. Jonas, another great question. Dave, who's going to be the first person to break a tablet Tom Brady style? Wow. I'm going to have to break this one up for an individual video because this is a wonderful thing. Now, I'm trying to think of who got the most pissed off last year. Obviously, Shedeur got pissed off, but he kind of keeps that more to himself. We saw Carr Stoudemire get pissed off in that shouting match with Coach Prime. We saw Travis Hunter get pissed off, of course. Anybody really throw their helmets? Again, guys, we didn't see too much of that last year. We need more of that nastiness. So let me think here really quick. Who is going to break a tablet? I'll give you one from the offense and one from the defense, okay? The one from the offense, it's going to be Chidozie Nwankwo. It's going to be Chidozie. I mean, that man is badass, man. And I feel like this is just my impression. I feel like he's going to be one of the leaders of our defense. And when stuff isn't looking right, man, break that tablet. Break that tablet. I hope our team understands, again, the opportunity that comes to them when they get pissed off. Okay? We got all the cameras on us. So if we're going to be pissed off, let's be pissed off in a way in which everybody's talking about it. So that means we're breaking tablets, baby. Let's do that. I love this, Jonas. So put me in a Chidozie for number 1 on the defense. Now, Travis was going to be, or Shiloh. Oh, man. Shiloh could definitely be one of those guys that breaks a tablet. I'm breaking this question down a little bit more. Going top 3. Going to rank them. Chidozie, Shiloh, Travis. Those are my 3 on the defense, okay? Those are my 3 on the defense that are going to break the tablet Tom Brady style. Now, if we're getting to the offense. Number 1, putting that at Shedeur, okay? He's the leader of the team. In my opinion, man, I know it's tough between him and Travis, but in my opinion, he's the best player on the team. Quarterback favoritism. Sorry about this. And he is mentored by Tom Brady. This is something where you got to set the rest of the tone for the offense if they're not getting their stuff done. You know what you do? You take that tablet, man, smash, smash, smash. You set the tone right there for them. Just like Kai, the hatchet-wielding hitchhiker, did forever ago, on the news. If you haven't seen that documentary on him, absolutely crazy. But this is where he needs to set the tone and let everybody know that this isn't just summer camp, man. This isn't just fun 7-on-7. This isn't just a reality show. No, this is real life. This is football. This is business. So if you're not getting your shit done, if you're not running the right route, if you're not blocking the right guy, Shedeur, man, take that tablet, fucking break that shit Tom Brady style and get everybody in order. Absolutely. Get everybody in order. That's what we need. Now, if it's not going to be him to break a tablet, dark horse for this one, Jordan Seaton. I know he's a true freshman, right? But you can tell, man, this man is grown beyond his years, okay? Right? He should be in high school right now, but he's out doing media tours, whatever. Looks the part in the videos that we've seen, so he doesn't look undersized or anything like that. And I think he could emerge even early on as a freshman as one of the leaders of this offensive unit. And one thing I do wonder is because, in my opinion, he has a way higher ceiling than anybody else on this offensive line, and he might get pissed the fuck off with some of these other guys, man. Especially if we got some injuries, man. So I'm going to give Jordan Seaton my number 2 to break that tablet. Okay? Now, who would be number 3 on the offense to break the tablet? Will Shepard doesn't really strike me as that kind of guy. Jimmy doesn't really strike me as that kind of guy. Wester, I don't know him yet, okay? Baby T.O., I don't think he's that kind of guy. Does Cordell Russell play with kind of an attitude? I like to think so, but I haven't seen it on camera, so I can't say yet. Give me Benson, man. Give me Benson. That guy's already come in here saying he's going after David Connor's job, man. That guy plays with a little bit of nasty, which is why, again, I hope that he can find some improvement with his game in the pass blocking category because he plays with some nasty in the run game. So give me him as number 3 to break that tablet, man. Now, bonus round, we're going to talk about the coaches. Who's going to break the tablet first? Number 1, it's got to be Coach Prime. Coach Prime, you have to break. I'm going to set an over-under of like 3.5 tablets broken on the year. We need that thing to be broken multiple times. Now, I know things are probably going bad if that happens, but to me, it's just showing passion. We could even be winning the game. It's even better sometimes if you're getting pissed off when you're winning, right? We saw that during the time at Jackson State when they go into the lead or into halftime with the lead, and he's chewing those guys out like they're down 69-0. Okay? I want Coach Prime to break a ton of these tablets, okay? Because again, sets the tone. We need to play with a little bit more nasty, okay? So give me Coach Prime to break a tablet, okay? Number 2. If Warren Sapp is not your number 2, you're absolutely crazy. This man has to break a tablet. As a GA, he will be on the field, if I remember correctly. So he's going to have tablets in his hands. He's going to be talking to the defensive line. You know he's going to be getting pissed off, okay? We need some of that nasty on our coaching staff. And again, you show the front 7, you mean business. When you get in front of them, smash, smash, smash. Break that tablet, man. Break that tablet. So give me Warren Sapp as the second most likely coach to break a tablet, Tom Brady style. Now for number 3, there's a lot of different candidates here. Got Coach Loldholt, okay? Got Pat Shurmur. Brett Bartolone, nah. Coach Flea, nah. Coach Hart, nah. Mathis, Is Justin Phillips that type of guy? Nah, man. Okay, so I got Coach Prime there at number 1, Warren Sapp at number 2. Give me Sal at number 3, man. I just don't think we got enough coaches that get pissed off like that. So as long as he's here, and I pray his recovery is going well, he'll be that other guy to smash that thing. But Coach Prime, honestly, we need to talk about what might be the first thing to make him want to smash one of these tablets. It's probably going to be special teams, because we didn't change anything with that. Still got the same guy running our god-awful special teams this year. Hopefully that just changes based on having better talent, but we had the talent to block a field goal just fine last year. It seems like we were incapable of doing that last year. So that was an extended question, but Jonas, really do appreciate this. These are the types of questions that I need from you guys. Sometimes it's like, David, what are your thoughts on Warren Sapp? Jonas, this is a great question. This is what I need from you guys. I'm raising the standard. Man, I wonder if Robert Livingston's one of those guys, man. Again, it seems like we got some calm, cool, collected guys. Yeah, Bucky's protecting. He's not airing out any team fights like that. Thank God. Okay, we learned some things from last year. One thing I'm looking out for Bucky for, don't show us stomping on the other opponent's logo in the middle of the field. God, please don't do that. I think he learned his lesson. Man, Livingston 4. I love that. But yeah, the over-under I'm setting at 3.5 tablets broken. Do you got the over on that? Do you got the under? Coach Prime, I want to see you break a lot of tablets. I want this thing. I want us to win games, but I also want this thing, of course, to be a show. I want WWE stuff, okay? And this is crazy that I can talk about Colorado football like this, but it's about winning in a certain way, right? It's about winning and putting on a show at the same time. It's like the Showtime Lakers. We could play a certain other way and still win, but we want to win in a flashy way. We want to win in a way in which the fans are happy about this, right? I love it. So let's put on a show. But Shador, man, I'm going to be looking for Shador to set that tone, man. Break that tablet, Tom Brady style. Follow in the same footsteps as the GOAT. I appreciate it. King John, who on defense will have the helmet comms? It depends on what they want to do with this linebacker position, okay? I still think Jalen Wester is going to be on the field quite a bit because he can play that linebacker position, but also cover if we need him to. I think he could be one of the most likely guys. I think Shiloh is also one of the most likely to have the helmet comms in there. I think you will see probably somebody either from the safety or linebacker group with those communications in their helmet. But those would probably be the first two that I would think about. It would probably be Wester, Shiloh, or Bentley, like one of those guys, right? Jen J, if I remember correctly, you were the one giving me a hard time yesterday because I'm a Arsenal fan. I'm an Arsenal fan as of this year. I just decided I always get into a new sport during the off season of football. Not much going on, obviously. But the Kroenke family, they've treated us well here in Colorado with the Nuggets, the Avs, all that. So might as well support the team that they purchased recently. And I watched the All or Nothing documentary on that team, on the Arsenal team from a couple of years ago, really well. A lot of the guys on that team's really likable. Seems like they're really young. Seems like they have built some continuity from within, which is always cool. Kind of similar to what they did with the Avalanche and the Nuggets. Some of that stuff's pretty cool, but yeah, I'm sorry, Man U. That's cool. You know, I'm still learning a lot about the English Premier League, but you know, I really like Saka. I really like that guy. That they're right winger. Is that what you call him? I'm still learning the positions too, but learning a lot more about soccer, the technicality of it all. But hey, just as long as you're not a Manchester City fan, I think we can be okay. Ron coming in here. I like to see the pro style game clock. If you're out of bounds, turn off the dang clock. It's only fair. Oh, dude, I'm not even sure if I understand the pro game clock, and I've been watching football for forever. Does the game clock not reset until the ball is placed again? Oh, see, ball out. I'm always forgetting about Trevor Woods. I'm such a terrible Buffs fan, man. I'm already like counting him out. That's terrible of me. Great point. Yeah. Trevor Woods, if he's a starter, he will have the comms in his head. Yes. Yeah. Oh, King John, you think you'd be interested in Aussie Football League? Maybe. I have watched some of the All or Nothing documentaries on some of the rugby teams, and then I watched the Six Nations documentary on Netflix. That was really cool. So if I had to pick a team from that documentary that like I would go with, it would be Scotland. I'm Scots Irish. So like them in Ireland, I guess, but they're kind of rivals, you know. But I like the Scotland team. They're kind of underdogs. And then, I've been watching this one from a few years ago on the All Blacks, which I think is New Zealand, if I remember correctly. But I learned the rules to rugby. Very interesting. Very interesting. And I like how you don't have to debate in that game in what a catch is because the ball can hit the ground and it's just fine. So, yeah, a few years ago, I was like a lot of people that got into the F1 when the first, not Need for Speed, but whatever the Netflix documentary is called. And then I'm like, dang, man, I love this Lewis Hamilton guy. He's awesome. Then he got screwed out of his last title, right? And then he became a part owner of the Broncos. So I'm a Lewis Hamilton guy forever now, no doubt. But I didn't really watch many of the races last year just because, you know, Max Verstappen and Red Bull just pretty much won everything. Bodie, thank you for the $5 super chat. In the freshman class, who do you think will rise star? I feel like Micah Welsh or Cam McHale. Great question. Well, we got what, like 8 guys to choose from? Let me go ahead and pull this up. We can talk through it. And I was super into F1, and, like, I still follow it, like, all the news and stuff like that, but I was waking up at, like, 5, 6 AM to watch, like, all the races when it was that really close one between, Max and Lewis, where Lewis got screwed in that last race, where they decided to change the rules for some reason. Man, that was a bunch of bullshit, man. They just did that all for clicks. All right. Here's what we got. Jordan Seaton, Draylon Miller, Cam McHale, Brandon Davis Swain, Eric Brantley, Kai Garcia. Who's the most likely to become a star? Let's talk about that. Who do you think will rise a star? So I don't have to just pick one. Obviously, the guy with the highest ceiling here, in my opinion, is Jordan Seaton. So he has that first round trajectory. Hopefully he can live up to it. I think he will, or at least that's my hope. But we have a lot of great athletes. I mean, anytime you're bringing in blue chip guys here, I mean, all these guys have the potential to become a star. I'm very excited about Brandon Davis Swain on the defensive line. For all these freshmen outside of Jordan Seaton, I have like little to no expectation for this year. Just throwing that out there. Okay. So if they're able to come on as true freshmen and contribute in some somewhat substantial ways, I think that's a huge win. That's a huge win. You're going beyond expectation. Again, that's why maybe some of y'all were critical on guys like Cormani, Carter, Jaden Milner-Jones at some points throughout the season. But the fact that they were on the field making plays is, as true freshmen, is a very good sign of just where their floor is at, like setting the floor at kind of a high bar. And I think you're going to see them continue to take jumps. So, yeah, if these guys are able to come in and contribute, my goodness. Now, I will say, Draylon Miller, oh, man, it's going to look like I'm crapping on Cam McHale, but man, where Cam McHale can play both ways, though. That's the thing. It's like all these guys could become a star in their own way. But in terms of offense, usage just in general, Draylon Miller is a very unique type of athlete. Okay. Now, Cam, he could be our next Travis Hunter if he really is playing both ways. If he's starting for safety and wide receiver for us come his sophomore year, that could very well happen. But man, I think right now, if I had to choose two guys, I'm going to go with Jordan Seaton and I'm going to go with Brandon Davis Swain. Sorry, wide receivers. You guys got to earn it. You guys got to earn it. They're in the most stacked rooms. So I'm going to go with those guys right now. But I mean, I'm very excited to see what all these guys can do. And Michael Welsh, man, that would be great if he can turn into a star. I do feel like we need another kind of game-breaking athlete back there. I'm greedy. I think we got 2 right now. And what I'm hoping Alt McCaskill is and returns to form. Dylan Edwards, we know is that guy, and he's only going to get better from his freshman year. I think sometimes we can get so caught up in how he was utilized this year that we forget that, guys, we just saw his floor this year. Like, that's the worst it's going to get. It's only going to get better from here with Dylan Edwards. Great question, though, Bodie. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton is going to Ferrari. I'm excited to see it too. Hopefully he can get their strategy team in order because just how crazy and yeah, that's like the Cleveland Browns of F1, man. They can just never get out of their own way. But yeah, it's going to be cool, and I hope Lewis drives for a long time, just like Alonso does. Hey, Zion, can you give me a little rundown on how Zay Weaver's done at the combine right now? I saw that there was a little scouting report done on him. I think they rated him in like the high 20s in terms of wide receivers. So I think that will probably put him on the edge of being drafted, if not obviously a UDFA somewhere. But has he run the 40 yet? I think for him to raise his draft stock, he probably needs to run in the low 4.5s. They don't run until tomorrow. Okay. Tarian Carter on defense. Let's get to this. Tarian Carter on defense seems to have that dog in him. Good. Can't wait until Sapp gets on campus. Amari Miller will surprise a lot of people. He's so quick off ball. Do you mean Amari McNeil? I'm trying to think if we have a Miller outside of Draylon on the team. I think you mean Amari McNeil. But yeah, Amari McNeil, one of our most improved players from last year on the team, and he could take a jump, man. And I'm hoping that he takes a jump. Oh, Omarion Miller, the wide receiver. Is that who you're talking about? He's so quick off the ball. No, you're talking about Amari McNeil. Gotcha. Yeah, he could definitely be a starter. NFL scouts got Zay Weaver going UDFA. Bummer, man. But yeah, let's go ahead and look at this really quick, and then I got to get going. Scouting report combine. Getting this up right now. Okay. Yeah, going to read through this because I do agree with how they scouted him in here for the most part. They gave him a 5.9 grade, average backup or special teamer. He's not a guy that I think you ideally want coming in and having to start. But a guy, man, if he goes undrafted, man, my Denver Broncos better freaking make him a nice offer, man, because we need some juice in that wide receiver group right now, especially if we're moving off of Jerry Jeudy. So this strengths here. Sudden feet lead to consistent release, success versus press, good route runner with feel for leverage and timing. Let's see. Access to early acceleration to climb past cornerbacks, able to run more advanced routes off snap at the top of the route, slippery runner after the catch. Yes. Dangerous punt returner with plus field vision at speed. Yes. This is why he was our most productive wide receiver this past year. All those things are definitely his strengths. Weaknesses: inconsistent initial drive to push corners into retreat, needs to play with his feet under him to avoid balance issues, loses catch concentration when working into the middle of the field, can be bullied out of the catch space by physical corners, has missed time due to injury. And I'm trying to think of spots where like I saw this, but I can tell you I remember this specifically with him going up against Kyrie Jackson against Oregon, where Kyrie Jackson, just a physical 6'3" kind of guy, physical corner, great skills. He'll probably be a day 2 pick in the NFL draft this year, but he was just absolutely shut down by Kyrie Jackson against Oregon. There were many times where Shedeur decided to like forget throwing to the guy in which there was open space initially at the line. Again, I don't know how the play was designed in terms of his reads, but there'd be guys in which we would have like a numbers advantage on like a little screen to the left, but he just wanted to take that shot one-on-one downfield. Zay Weaver against Kyrie Jackson. That probably happened 3 or 4 times throughout that game where he just wanted to take the one-on-one shot. Kyrie Jackson won every single time, absolutely bullied him. So that is something that I remember seeing, and you would have liked to see him win some of those matchups against a guy like Jackson. I'm sure that would have looked great on tape and helped his stock, but it is what it is. I think that he's still a very damn good receiver. And yeah, I think that he comes on, ideally, he comes in as a depth wide receiver, but then, develops into a guy that can get on the field. The wide receiver position is as deep as it's ever been. And similar to running back, just because you go undrafted at that position doesn't mean you can't make a great career for yourself. I mean, one of Utah's undrafted guys, Tim Patrick, created a very great career for himself with the Broncos, being a starter, signed a big ass contract extension, but has missed the last 2 years due to Achilles and ACL, something like that. But he at least got that big time payday before getting his injuries. And so, yeah, just because you go undrafted as a wide receiver, similar to running back, it does not mean that you cannot carve out a nice career for yourself. But I do hope for his sake that he is drafted. You'll want that guaranteed money. Exactly, Zion. Yeah. Without knowing anything about the rest of the class. I thought that he was a second or third round pick, when the season ended. But I think with him not going to the Senior Bowl, that really hurt his stock. I don't know why he didn't get an invite when you had some other guys from smaller schools or G5 schools getting an invite to the Senior Bowl. He was, again, very productive here at CU. And yeah, I think if he would have gotten that invite, I think he would have raised his draft stock. And I think just by him being there at the Senior Bowl, you would have seen him just held in a higher regard by the NFL community, the draft scout community, all of that. But I was a bit puzzled why he wasn't at the Senior Bowl. I was happy to see he did get that invite for the Combine, obviously. But if you're getting an invite to the Combine, shouldn't you be getting an invite to the Senior Bowl? Or are they just taking on some less guys? Is that just what it was? But hopefully he can really show out. Now, if he runs in the 4.4s, he's definitely getting drafted. Hopefully he's able to do that, but I don't think he has that 4.4 speed. I think he probably runs in the 4.5s. Yeah, Zion, not getting a Senior Bowl invite was a telltale sign he won't be getting drafted. Damn. But it's going to be great to see that, Colorado's going to have a interesting pro day this year. Like, we actually have some guys that have potential to carve out a career for themselves in the pros. That's great. And next year, the pro day is going to be absolutely lit. And yeah, it's only going to be getting better. So yeah, hopefully, I wonder when we do that pro day. And I guess we will do it out here in Boulder. Sometimes I've wondered if it might just be better if they do it at the Broncos place, but you don't want them slipping on that turf that we had out there in Folsom this past year. Hopefully we're getting that replaced, right? Yeah, I agree with you, Zion. Zay's that 4.5 type of receiver. And you know what? I do wonder. I didn't make a big deal of this. I don't think it's as big of a deal in college football that he's like 180 pounds or so. And the NFL has kind of gone more in that direction where it doesn't really matter if you're more of a slender guy. We've seen guys drafted that are 165 pounds in the first round or 170 pounds in the first round, right? But I do think there's still a lot of NFL teams and a lot of NFL coaches look for that prototypical, X wide receiver that's 6'3", 220 pounds, 215 pounds that can do a little bit of everything. And he is a little on the slender side. Isn't Jerry Jeudy like 180 pounds? I'm going to look that up right now. 194. So he's got 15 pounds or so on Zay. Anyone saying Zay going in the top 3 rounds don't know football. And I will raise my hand to that. Because I was saying that 2 months ago. And Jerry Jeudy, I mean, he, in my opinion, he still is an elite route runner. Hasn't had, obviously, the best situation, talent-wise, quarterback-wise, offensive coordinator-wise for the majority of his career out here. And he has had focus issues, big-time focus issues. If you want to get a combine invite, if they didn't think he was draft worthy player, that's main stage scouting. That's the other side of the coin, right? But I think to Zion's point, it's a smaller group going to the Senior Bowl. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. But at least he's showing himself. And there's plenty of guys that do go to the combine that go undrafted because they have a lot more guys go there. I remember watching a documentary. I mean, this was probably in like 2007, 2008 on like smaller sports agents trying to break through in the NFL. And there was this one guy that they were following who was representing like a Notre Dame running back or a wide receiver. And he was going around trying to meet with all these teams. And a handful of those guys just ended up going undrafted. They just have more guys there. It would be kind of cool to go to the combine though. Like I still kind of think about, okay, I never want to be one of those traditional journalists or media members where I'm going around asking guys questions that I really don't care about their answers to, because you're just getting coach speak or player speak a lot of the time. But it would be fun to go chit chat with people, get to know other media members, all that. So, maybe I'll throw out a lifeline to, I don't know, throw out something to Jake, man. If he's ever doing something for the Senior Bowl or DNVR, let's go next year, man. Let's just have fun. I would never go to Alabama except for that. Or like, obviously, if we were playing the Crimson Tide in a playoff game, I'd go for that. Or Auburn. Yeah, like guys like Javon Antonio. Guys like Javon Antonio are training for the NFL, and they'll probably get some camp invites, and maybe he can make himself, a practice squad guy, since they increased practice squads a while back. But now NFL veterans can also be held on practice squads. So that was one of the adjustments they made from COVID. So it's going to be a little bit harder for certain guys to find themselves on, NFL practice squad rosters that don't exactly have the experience. I think his physical prototype, there might be a coach that feels like they can mold him into something. But again, the wide receiver position is as deep as ever. I think the one guy that gets drafted from this team is a Weaver. If Jordan Dominic or Rod Ward test like crazy, I think that they can give themselves a chance. But those are probably the three guys I feel the best about having themselves stick around in the NFL, whether that's on the practice squad or not, eventually get onto a roster, right? And yeah, outside of that, guys like Javon Antonio, Jordan Dominic, some of our other guys that graduated this year, their career might be best to take that CFL or UFL route first. But I can see all those guys getting camp invites. And hey, you can make a nice like 20, 30 grand from going to a training camp. That's a nice little chunk of change, right? I was listening to a reel the other day where I forget what state it was, but a guy was interviewing a high school basketball referee, and they asked him, if you're coaching or if you're refereeing high school and then the full AAU circuit, how much can you make throughout the year? And he said, if you're hitting everything, you can make about 20 to 25 grand refereeing throughout the year. And that's a nice little bonus. But hey, if you can make that in 1 month of a training camp, that's really great too. Just a nice little bonus. But yeah, we're going to see a lot more guys drafted next year from CU, and then the pipeline really starts to build. All right, guys, I should probably get back to work. I didn't get one message from work today, but I do have some other things to take care of. So I appreciate you guys as always. This was a lot of fun. Yeah, and yeah, the people don't know 1% of the 1%. Absolutely. It is. You got to be the best of the best to get there. We have a lot of great college football players on this team right now. But again, you got to be great, not only to get yourself into the NFL, but you got to be great to get yourself a second contract. And that's where the real money is made, right? So, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. This was really fun, taking a lot of your questions and just having fun, chatting it up, not being too serious, but having fun with it. Bodie, thank you so much. Mike, thank you as always. Again, hope that corn is looking nice out in Nebraska. Bodie, again, thank you again. We got a lot of great things going on here with Colorado. And again, this is all great news. The fact that Pat Shurmur, Rob Livingston, these guys can just communicate to the players in their helmets. We don't got to see any more cartoons on posters, any of that bull junk on the sidelines anymore. Appreciate it, guys. I will be back later this weekend. And as always, Go Buffs!